Welcome to Telltale. The first story is titled, Am I Wrong for Telling My Husband to Choose His PlayStation Over Our Marriage? By username Suspicious Exam 3842. I, 34-year-old female, have been with my husband, 41-year-old male, for 15 years and married for 11 years of those years. We have a 7-year-old daughter. We have physical intimacy maybe once a year since our daughter was born. I'm always the one that has to initiate any type of intimacy. When we do, it's hard to get him to stay up, and it's a lot of work on my end. He's seen a doctor, and there are no issues with labs, and he won't take the little blue pill because he says he doesn't need it and doesn't have an issue. My husband has always blamed our lack of intimacy on our daughter since she slept in the bed with us. I'll try to get him to go in a different room, and there's always some excuse like he's too tired, but then he will go up to our game room and play his video games. Our daughter has slept in her own room for over 6 months now, and nothing has changed. His excuse is still, well, our daughter has slept in the bed with us all this time. My husband is a good person and a good dad. He works hard for his family. He works 60 hours a week, but besides paying the bills, that's the extent of it. He says he's tired and tells me I don't understand the stress of having to take care of the family financially. I work 40 hours a week, have a small business, make all of our appointments, do anything related to our daughter. I'm classroom mom, on parent-teacher organization, and do all household chores. I do all laundry, cleaning, make meals, grocery shopping, take vehicles for oil changes, yard work. I mow and take care of 2.5 acres and take trash cans out. I do pay some of our bills, and I pay for all of our daughter's extracurricular activities, which definitely adds up. He just thinks my load of work and contributions do not amount to what he does. This past week I got on his phone because he saves reels on Facebook for me, normally funny stuff and recipes he wants me to try. I saw in his search history all of these attractive girls and groups he's been looking at, which really pushed me over the edge. I wouldn't be mad if he came to me to initiate intimacy and I denied him. I confronted him about it, and he says he doesn't look that stuff up, and I told him I'm not naive, and it's clear as day. Then the next day he says yeah, he clicks on those girls' profiles and groups because he's a man and likes to look. He's been locking his game room recently while in there, and when he says he's sleeping, I know he's playing his PlayStation, and I guess now he also looks at these different profiles. I've seen lotion up there a long time ago while cleaning and had asked him about it, and he swears he's not jerking off, but I'm not stupid and naive. I really just hate being lied to. He says I'm a hypocrite because I watch porn, but I wouldn't watch porn and take care of my needs if he would be intimate with me. It's also not like I'm going to a specific person or their profile when I do pull up a video. I've also been honest with him that I masturbate and watch porn. I admit I am a hypocrite and guess I'm just hurt because it just seems it's me. To me, it feels he's not attracted to me or just doesn't seem to want me. He says he doesn't really have a drive, and that's what I had thought, but after seeing what he likes to click on I feel he just doesn't have a drive towards me. Looks-wise, people tell him he definitely leveled up. Overall, I take care of myself and put effort into my looks. I'm definitely not the hottest or most beautiful, but I'm not bad looking. He's overweight, short, and balding. Why do I feel like now I don't look good enough for him or excite him enough to be with? I told him I want him to get rid of all of the gaming stuff and to not be locked upstairs and to spend more time with me and our family, or it's time for us to divorce. He said he's not giving up his gaming stuff and doesn't see how that's the problem. He told me that I'm going to ruin our family because all I want is intercourse. I'm just tired of begging. I feel I shouldn't be begging for intimacy, affection, and him being present with his family. I do so much for everyone and tired of not getting anything in return. I'm tired of putting my wants and needs last. I'm tired of begging him to hang out with us and do family stuff. The only thing that excites him is to go upstairs in the game room and play his video games, and I guess now I know he likes to do other stuff as well. We've done the counseling stuff here and there, and it gets better for a bit but then goes back to our normal. So am I the asshole and a hypocrite? Am I in the wrong and taking things too far? Editing to add this about our child sleeping in the bed with us. We both allowed her to sleep in the bed with us. I had tried to boot her out to her own room sooner, but my husband kept saying she wasn't ready. She'd cry, and it was a lot of work and bribery to get her in her own room. Editing to add another note. There's definitely two sides to every story, and you're just getting mine. We both have different love languages. Mine is affection and physical touch, and his is acts of service. He likes a clean and tidy house, and I do my best to keep up with everything home-wise. I tried talking to him what makes me happy and what I want, but he's not listening to me. I feel like a spoiled brat at times because yes, he provides financially well for us, and I don't go without. It just sucks. I want to be seen again. We used to be such a team, and it's a pissing contest of who does what. My husband really isn't a bad person or dad. Our daughter is definitely a daddy's girl, mostly because I'm the disciplinary parent that makes sure she has to brush teeth, schoolwork, and etc. On our days off together, he'll do a few things with us and then say he needs to get some rest, but he goes upstairs and video games. He really does work too much. He says he works so much because he wants to make sure we're taken care of if something happens to him, which his dad was never there, and his mom did struggle when he grew up. OP was voted not wrong in the comments. Here's a relevant response by OP in the comment thread. Your comment really stuck out. Sometimes I do get to the point of frustration because I wish he'd just see what needs to be done without me having to nag him. Every year I ask if he can put Christmas lights up, and he doesn't do it until I finally snap at him. Christmas lights make me and our daughter happy, and he knows it. So why do I need to ask him to do it every single year? My birthday is around Christmas, and he doesn't do anything thoughtful. He says it's because he's working and didn't have time to go get anything, but he can make time to game and order stuff for his games on Amazon. I tell him to make a cake with our daughter and have her make me a card, take her to Walmart, and let her pick something out for me. I want him to show my daughter that I matter. I'm sure you saw the TikTok about the wife's stocking not having anything in it, and that's another thing I have to tell him to find the time to do for me with our daughter. I just want him to make time, and me not have to nag him. I think I'm just tired too. I know gaming is his relaxing and winding down time, but he's not understanding prioritizing his family should be first. Now for the update. I am overwhelmed by the response from my first post and appreciate the feedback. I wasn't expecting to write an update this soon or even at all. Also, I realized as I was blindly rage writing my issues to a bunch of strangers, I didn't write the title properly, so I corrected it in this post update. Yesterday, I messaged my husband the following. Why should we stay together? Just for our daughter. What do you love about me besides being a good mother and wife? What do you like about me? What are things you want from our relationship that you're not getting besides financial? What do you think I contribute to our relationship? Do you really not want physical intimacy or a physical relationship? Do you think that's not an issue? I need a physical and intimate relationship. That's something that's important to me. It's more than just intercourse. Am I not attractive to you? Do you not desire me? Please be honest. Why do you hide the fact that you masturbate? Why can't you see why I'm upset and that my feelings are valid? You think I'm upset over nothing. I feel you take my words as if they are water being poured into a colander. You hold no value to what I say. Why can't you see my pain? You think this is easy on me? Have I thrown too many empty threats to you that you don't take this and what I say seriously? Where can we go from here? Can we work it out? Sometimes my issue is that you can't be honest with me that there's an issue. I hate when you don't take accountability and place blame elsewhere. We're adults. We make mistakes, and we should take accountability for what we say and do. I know I'm not who I was, and I don't love who I am right now. I don't like nagging, yelling, and begging. Begging you for help, attention, and affection. I'll go back at a better paying job and help more with finances if we decide to move forward. In return, you'll have to help more with our family. Help worry about finding a sitter for our daughter, who's picking her up from school. You'll need to help and call out when she's sick. Take off for field trips. Help make her lunches. Take her to extracurriculars. And help more with daily tasks. He never responded. Instead, I saw where he played over 3 hours on his PlayStation. To me, that speaks volumes. Someone messaged me a link to an article that really resonated with me, and it hit close to home. I guess I'm at the point where I don't want a roommate anymore. I just want a partner that cares and can see the value I bring to our relationship and our family. Many of the original post responses talk about how I just want intimacy, and that's really not it. I want intimacy and a yearning to feel loved and longed for. I want our relationship to be where we are a team again, and it no longer feels like a pissing contest of who does what. I guess we are past that point of working things out. Now my concern is how to make this an easy transition for my daughter. I will continue to put a smile on my face and hold back my pain because as a parent how she feels and what she sees comes first. I don't want her to feel blame or to be sad. I know it won't be easy, but thank you strangers for your advice even when some of it stung a little. As I've said, I know it's hard to have an opinion when you're only getting one side. I'm not an angel in any of this and take accountability for my parts for the ending of this chapter. I guess it's time to move on. Let's read some more relevant responses by OP in the comments. I appreciate your message and your perspective. I really do. When he gets home, He says how tired he is and bolts it upstairs to the game room to sleep before we can even get a hello in. Then I hear him on his game up there. I tell him, and I tell our daughter how thankful I am for how he provides for his family. I've helped him lose weight, and I've told him how good he's looking and how proud I am of his weight loss even though he's getting the results by medication. I make sure the house is nice and tidy before he gets home. I pack his work bag, clean his clothes, make his lunches, and buy his snacks. What I get in return is most of our bills paid by him, and nothing more unless I ask him several times to do something. When I ask him to go to a family event, he says he's tired and doesn't go. When he goes, he complains the whole time about how tired he is. He can't just do what I do and just put a smile on his face. I think I don't have any more to give. I got to this point and asked him to make a sacrifice for me, and his response was no response, but instead he played 3 hours on his game. When do I deserve to get some extra effort from our marriage? A user comments, I can totally empathize. Sounds like he's not even open or appreciative of the kind things you're trying to do for him. Well, then the only other thing I could think of is trying to get him to open up to what's making him unhappy to where he needs to escape to his games every waking moment. Put the onus on him to explain what he feels he is not getting that causes him to game nonstop. When I gamed, I would still make time for my family, and it sounds like he won't. You may have already made up your mind, but if you're still on the fence, pushing aside your hurt and concerns temporarily and finding out from his perspective why he is checking out and gaming might give you some insight. I'm guessing he wasn't always this way? Something seems to be fundamentally not working. Couples therapy could help, but a lot of therapists are not that great. Not sure if it's an option, but maybe a separation or leaving for a few weeks could make him wake up. Barring that, if you do go through a divorce, I wish you the best of luck. They're not fun. And Opie responds, my husband basically told me this. If I don't make you happy, then I don't want to force something that's not gonna make you happy. I'm fine with what you want to do. I do love you, and I shouldn't have to prove that after being together for 14 years. We can go our ways. I will financially support you and Landry to the best of my ability. Only have a few requests. That wherever you decide to move, please stay within 30 miles of each other so I can see Landry, and I can help better. I can pay your mortgage on a $250,000 house if you put $100K down and will, of course, pay for whatever Landry needs. When we sell the house, I want $100K, and you can have everything else. I need you to pay the Tesla off. I owe $33K. We need to at least get $600K for our home, if not more. I hate that it's come down to this, but we'll help you achieve happiness as long as we can agree on some terms with our child and finances. I empathize with your situation, Opie, as it's evident that you have invested immense effort and care into your family. The emotional toll of feeling unappreciated and struggling to connect with a partner who seems to prioritize gaming over your relationship is undoubtedly challenging. It's clear that you have reached a point of exhaustion and yearning for a deeper, more fulfilling connection. However, your willingness to communicate openly to fix these issues only shows your strength and maturity. I hope you find the support and understanding you deserve, and have all the happiness you want in your future ahead. Before we move on to the second story, I would like to ask you to please like this video and subscribe to my channel as your support plays an immense role in keeping this channel running. Your kindness would honestly make a big difference and would take care of my bills. So thank you to everyone watching this video, and now let's move on to the next story, which is titled, Am I Wrong for Not Letting My Husband's Son Stay at Our House When He Should Be With His Mother? By username False Negotiation 92. My 30-year-old female husband, 49-year-old male, and his ex-wife, in her 40s, have joint custody of their son, 11-year-old male. He stays with his mother from Monday to Thursday, and with us from Thursday nights to Monday mornings. And that has worked perfectly for years, but now he wants to break that agreement and stay with us more days a week. If he had wanted to stay with us for more days a few months ago, I would have gladly accepted, but not now. He had a complete change in his behavior in the last few months, and honestly, although it sounds bad, I can't stand him. I'm not the only one. His sister, 19-year-old female, can't stand him either. He is rude, dirty, and treats his younger sisters like crap. My husband no longer knows what to do or what to say to make him change that attitude. Last Monday, he came to our house after school, even though he shouldn't have, and decided he wanted to stay here all week. According to him, his mother let him stay, but it turns out that she never asked my husband if he could stay here. But we let him stay anyway, and it was hell. We have 3-year-old twins, and recently, we had another set of twins. They are 1 month old, and the house, of course, is chaos. We have a person who helps us with the cleaning, And my husband's daughter helps us with the children, and we pay her, and everything is much easier. But since his son is here, no type of help is enough for us. He messes things up in the kitchen every 5 minutes and leaves everything a mess. He doesn't pick up his clothes off the floor. He plays games on his PlayStation with the volume really high. The worst of all is that whenever he has the opportunity, he treats his sisters really bad, and it seems that he enjoys making them cry. I used to love having him at home because he was a really sweet boy, but I don't know what happened. Now he is a different person, and every time he comes home, I count the days until he leaves because I can't stand him anymore. The last time he came to our house, my daughters were in the living room watching cartoons, and he turned the television off and on until they started crying. That day I had a horrible day. My husband had to stay longer at work. His daughter wasn't at home, and I had to be alone all day with the children. I had a really hard time getting the girls to sit and watch TV for at least 5 minutes so I could sit and have coffee while the babies took a nap. But I couldn't even do that because I had to calm them down so they would stop crying. They stopped crying, and after 20 minutes, he began to tell them that he was going to take our dog, whom they adore, to his mother's house. He said they wouldn't see him again, and that ended in another crying fit that he didn't even witness because when I appeared in the living room, he went in his room laughing. That same night, I spoke to my husband and told him that I don't want him to stay here the days he has to stay with his mother because he drives me crazy. Fortunately, he understood because he also struggles with his bad behavior and doesn't know what else to do to change it. He talked to his ex-wife and told her that their son is not behaving appropriately every time he comes here. Things are getting difficult, and that until he changes his attitude, he cannot stay here whenever he wants. She got furious, and of course, she blames me. I'm so tired that sometimes I wish I had never met my husband and thought it was a good idea to marry someone with children. I don't want to end up hating him because we are family and we will always be. That's why I think that until he changes his attitude, we have to respect visiting days. Am I wrong for that? Edit. We tried to take him to therapy, but he doesn't want to. We talked to his mom, and she doesn't want him to go to therapy either, so we can't force him. We tried to find out what is happening, and, as I said in a comment, the only drastic change he suffered was that he is no longer the only boy in the family because I had twin boys. Of course, he says that this is stupid and that he doesn't care, but his change began when he found out that they would be boys. Let's read some relevant comments by OP. One user says, I don't blame you for feeling that way. Have you tried talking to someone about his behavior? If it's a recent change, maybe he's going through something. I would also have a meeting with your husband and the ex to talk about the kid and rediscuss visitation days so you can have more time to focus on your kids. And OP responds, we spoke to a therapist and told him that it would be good to talk to her, but he didn't like the idea and told his mom that he doesn't want to go to therapy because he's not crazy. Sadly, she thinks the same way, and we can't force him. So I don't know what else to do. Another user says, you are wrong. It's called parenting. Start disciplining him. He will only do what you all allow him to do. Also, he is a kid. He does not run the household. And OP says, I tried to discipline him within the limits I have for being his stepmother, but he doesn't even listen to me. The last time he was playing online games with the volume really high, I tried to take his PlayStation away, and he went crazy and started yelling at me that I'm not his mom and that I have no right to tell him what to do. Honestly, I'm so tired with my 4 children that I don't have the strength to try to educate him. A comment reads, where is your husband/his father? He should be parenting, and he should back you up when the son says you can't tell him what to do. Obi replies, trying to find a way to know what is happening to him and how to help him. He is a present father for all his children. He told him many times that he should respect me and listen to me, but he completely ignored him. A user says, there is no way that your husband is a present father for all his children. When was the last time your husband took a day and spent it with his oldest son? Talking and yelling isn't what this child needs. He needs his dad to spend some one-on-one time with him. Going to a ball game or a movie or whatever the child enjoys would go a long way. Do you not understand puberty? God help you when you have 4 kids going through puberty and the teenage years at the same time. Obi replies, every Saturday he goes to play soccer with my husband and their children, and he takes him to piano lessons on Tuesdays. Apart from that, he spends a lot of time with his dad when he is at home. He loves to help him cook. He likes to go running with him. They spend a lot of time together. My husband never stopped paying attention to him to pay attention to his younger siblings. It never was, nor will it be, like that. Now for the update. First of all, I want to clarify that I do love my stepson. A post of a few paragraphs doesn't describe our relationship in any way. I'm just used to calling him my husband's son because I had a lot of problems in the past with his mother. She didn't like me calling him that because it confused him, and during his first years, he tried many times to call me mom. Another thing I want to clarify is that my stepdaughter doesn't raise my children. She only babysits them from time to time for a few hours, and we pay her so that she has her own money and doesn't have to work while she's in college. As for my stepson, he came to stay here these days and once again made my life hell. I started baking cookies with the girls and asked him if he wanted to help us, and he accepted. But when I left the hot cookie plate on the counter, he took the hand of one of his sisters and placed her on the hot plate, and of course, he burned her. I know it was my fault for leaving it near the kids, but he shouldn't have done that. After that, they sat down to watch a movie and drink milk and cookies in the living room, and he cut about 4 centimeters of one of the girls' hair as a joke. I scolded him, and he said it was unintentional, that he was just joking, and that he didn't really want to cut her hair. That same day, my husband and I cut off his internet access and confiscated his electronics and had to talk with him for the 1000th time. All he said was that he hates his siblings because they are going to replace him, that his mother told him that my husband stopped taking him to soccer practice because he wants to spend time with his new children. That is not like that. My husband stopped taking him to soccer practice because he got a promotion and works longer shifts. He knows it because my husband told him, and because that's why he takes him to his piano lessons even when he's with his mom. But he believed his mom, and he's been acting like a demon ever since. My husband is an incredible father to all his children and works hard to give everything to all of them. He pays for his daughter's apartment and her studies, and every Saturday he takes her to lunch at her favorite restaurant to have some time alone. On Saturday nights, he goes to play soccer with his son and his friends and their children. As I said before, he takes him to his piano lessons, then they go to dinner, and he takes him to his mother's house. They also used to go fishing every weekend, but that's something his mother didn't like, so my husband had to stop doing it. I never intervened in their relationship because I had no relationship with my father, and I didn't want his children to go through the same thing. So I always supported him spending time with them, and I would never do anything to harm their relationship. I admit that maybe this time I acted in an exaggerated way, but I was desperate. I don't even sleep more than 1 hour a day, yet I have to function all day and take care of 2 newborns, 2 toddlers, and a preteen who now hates me. We can't even afford a full-time nanny to help me because, as I said above, my husband is the one who pays for his daughter's studies. A few months ago, we found out that his ex-wife was using the money that was for her studies. If I had known that before, I would never have gotten pregnant a second time. I clarify that for those who judged me for choosing to be a mother again. My stepson will be without electronics or internet for a month and will start therapy next week, even though his mother doesn't want to. Of course, from now on, he won't be unsupervised with his siblings either, which makes my life more difficult. Yet I accepted it because I just want this mess to be solved. My husband is talking to his lawyer to see if he can get more days with his son, and we are waiting for his lawyer to tell him how to proceed legally. That's all. Let's see what the community has to say about this. One user says, so the kid hates his younger siblings but simultaneously doesn't want to go to mom's house to get away from them. Seems to me like mom is the source of the problems. Another says, I'm glad they're pushing the therapy because when a preteen boy deliberately burns another child, that's a sign that behavior is not just out of control. It's turning to levels that could result in children's services or even police intervention. And another comment reads, as a teacher, one of the things I learned when doing the first reporter lessons was that a kid having a major personality shift like this is a warning sign for abuse. Now, it could absolutely be something with hormones, the twins, his dad having less time for him, his mom feeding him hurtful lies about his dad, which, honestly, is emotional abuse, but a shift that huge rarely happens without a catalyst. While I do feel bad for Opie, especially since it sounds like some grooming may have happened to get her into the relationship with her husband, my heart is breaking the most for both the son and the twins he's now hurting. Opie, I know that you're dealing with an incredibly challenging situation, and your exhaustion is understandable, especially with the demands of 2 newborns, 2 toddlers, and a preteen. Therapy is a step in the right direction, and it's great that you're pursuing it. But at the same time, it's crucial to address a few things. Consider reevaluating your communication with your stepson. Understand his perspective, even if it seems irrational. Your assertion that you just want this mess to be solved is a bit dismissive. Relationships, especially complex family dynamics, require time, effort, and understanding. And of course, financial constraints are undoubtedly stressful, but don't let them become excuses. The decision to have another child should be a joint one, considering your family's emotional and financial well-being. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you for tuning into our stories today. If you found it engaging or have thoughts to share, drop a comment below. Your feedback means the world to us. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and hit that notification bell to stay updated. Until next time, take care.